Hello everyone, this is James Shore with another test-driven JavaScript video. I'm recording this on January 25th, 2012, picking up about a week after our last recording. And when we left off, we were working on our special cases for mouse event handling. In our WeWikiPaint application, we have the ability to draw lines, and we were looking at how do we handle the special cases of when the mouse goes outside of the boundary area. There's a lot of little nitpicky things to take care of here. And when we left off, we had that pretty much working, except that our tests weren't passing. When we run our tests, we get a bunch of really weird failures that seem to be due, some very strange results. This is our expected result, and this is what we're actually getting. And the reason for that was that we're registering our event handlers on the document, and our tests are not actually removing those event handlers in any way. And we had a pretty interesting conversation on our thread here about that. So let me go ahead and bring up those comments. A bunch of different thoughts about it. Evervision suggested that we need to have some sort of remove method on our WeWikiPaint code, or we have the test remove the handlers, or we just have everything contained entirely within the drawing area. This, I think, is a great summary of the three options available to us. Vlad Gerdiga suggested that he thought the best approach would be to just have the event handlers bound to the drawing area so that when the drawing area is destroyed, then the event handlers automatically go away, because we do destroy the drawing area. Danny Jones suggested or brought up that he tried this code. Thank you for running real code, Danny, and letting us know how it worked out. And that this line of code does make the test pass. So, and as I mentioned, there are a bunch of different design trade-offs between these three basic approaches that Evervision mentioned. So I think what I'd like to do is start out by just putting in the code that Danny recommended and getting our test passing again. I always like to start from the standpoint of passing tests. So let's go into our after each here, and we're just going to unbind the events. So if that works for us in the same way it works for Danny, yes, it passes. And let's go ahead and get rid of all these dumps. That was just debugging code. Okay, so we are at the point where the tests are passing, and furthermore, the code is behaving correctly. When we leave the drawing area and come back in, it stops drawing. That's great. And when we start outside and come in, it doesn't start. So our code's working fantastic. So let's go ahead and check that in, and then we'll look at how can we clean it up to make it a little nicer. So let's see, what did we do? I guess what we did here was we unregistered event handlers after each test fixes failing tests. That's not the world's best message, but it's good enough. If you're going back and looking at your Git comments a lot, that's probably an issue. So I try to make my comments clear, but I don't obsess over them. Anyway, so let's go back to our code. So as Evervision mentioned, we have three basic approaches here. We can unregister the events in our test, which thanks to Danny's code, turned out to be easier than I thought it was going to be. We can have a remove method on the client code, which I think actually might be a good idea. Or we could just change the way we handle events so that we're not operating on the document at all. And I actually think that might be the best approach. When I first heard about that idea, it was actually originally suggested by Josh Flores a while ago. He suggested that we use the mouse leave event. Way back, I think in episode 52, when we were first spiking this, I tried to use the mouse leave event and it didn't work. And that's because I just made a dumb mistake. I'd put it on the wrong element. I'd put it on the document rather than the drawing area, but I didn't realize it at the time. So we could possibly use the mouse leave event rather than the doing this is within drawing area stuff and see things still work. So I think I'd like to try that. Now, rather than test driving that, because the I could modify some tests or write some tests that said, send the mouse leave event and give the relative x and relative y. And I could write code that makes that test pass. But this is coming down to how does the behavior actually work in the browser? And I'm not sure that mouse leave is going to work the way we want it to. So I want to just try experimenting with it a little bit. I'm going to spike it a little bit. So I think this should be pretty easy to do. We'll just have mouse down only work within the drawing area. And we'll have mouse move only work within the drawing area. And we'll have mouse up only work within the drawing area. Now the problem with this, as it stands right now, is if we leave the drawing area, let go of the mouse, which I just did, it's still, yeah. So if I put the mouse down, leave the drawing area, let go of the mouse gets stuck in the down position. You can't see it, but I don't have my finger on the mouse button, and yet we're still drawing. So we need to basically have the mouse button go up when we leave the drawing area. Now this works great for coming outside in because we're not capturing that mouse down event. So it should be just as simple as saying drawing area dot mouse leave start equals null. Is it that simple? Well, mouse down, leave the drawing area. Yes. Up, back in. It is just that simple. All right. Well, that makes all kinds of things way easier, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so now all of our events are purely in the drawing area. That makes it much more component-like. It means that we don't have to do this document unbind because we're not binding any events to the document. This is lots cleaner. So now let's go ahead and get our test to work. I'm going to go ahead and back this up, actually, and do it test-driven. Now that we know that it's going to work, we should have passing tests working the old way. Yeah. Now I want to modify the test to work the new way. Most of these are okay. Tries a line in response to mouse drag, multiple line segments, blah, blah, blah. Do not draw a mouse segment when line button is released. Do not draw line segments when mouse button has not been pushed. Stops drawing when mouse leaves drawing area. So for this, I think what I want to do is say mouse leave whatever, and then that should still work. I guess I'll keep that mouse move document in there as well. Well, see, now this is where it becomes more of a simulation. We'll go ahead and put the mouse move after the mouse leave just to simulate the behavior. I don't know how that works in practice, but actually, let me check. When we move the mouse really fast, yeah, I thought maybe the mouse move would fire before the mouse leave, but it looks like mouse leave is firing first because when we move really fast, it does stop drawing before the border, end of the border. Okay, so we'll do that, and then let's just take these out for the moment. Okay, so I'm going to add the mouse leave event. Should be easy. Okay. And this should fail. Well, actually, it may not fail because we've still got that document code in there. Yeah. So I need to remember to take care of this optional element, which we don't need anymore. And now I think what I can do is take out this is within drawing area. Which should cause our test to fail. And then add the mouse leave. Which should cause our test to pass again. Ah, perfect. Perfect. Okay, now let's go ahead and get rid of this optional element, which we don't need. Actually, we might need it. I'm going to leave it in for now. And let's go ahead and put this back in. Now, this says it should not start drawing if drag is started outside the drawing area. That's correct. We're going to, if we're outside the drawing area, it's going to happen on the document. So that's why I was going to leave that in there. So that should be just fine. I am going to modify mouse down to take the optional element. Pass that through. Now, this should pass. And now I'm going to take out the code that makes document work or mouse move work on document, and it should still pass. Yeah. And I'll take out this and have it work on mouse down, and it should still pass. And have this work on, oh, interesting. This should work on drawing area. I don't know why that passed before. This should work on drawing area. And will that all still pass? Yeah. Okay. And then here, this should all work as expected as well. Okay, I feel like because I put the event on document rather than drawing area, I feel like it should have broken, but it didn't. But all this seems to be okay now. I should be able to take out this unbind and have everything still work, which it does. And I should be able to do it manually and have it still work. So there I've left the mouse area, let go of the button, everything's good. Start outside the mouse area, come in, doesn't draw, go outside, let go of the button, come back in, and we're fine. Let's handle that last little test case of going outside. So it stops drawing if mouse button is released outside drawing area. That's probably why the test didn't fail when I was attaching to the wrong object or the wrong element because I don't think I was testing this specific case. So, no, actually we are testing that specific case. I don't know. I think we're good here though. The test pass, the manual tests work. So next time we'll take a look at fixing this problem of when we're dragging, we don't want to select text because that's just weird. So that is what we will look at next time. This time looks like what we've done is we've gotten our code to operate, our event handler code to operate entirely on the drawing area, which means that we don't have to do any special removing. Just removing the element removes all the event handlers, which is really nice for testing, but also nice for production code as well. So this is a really nice cleanup, and we've got all our code finally working both in test and reality. So next time we're going to continue on with the last special case of selecting text. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. I will catch you next time.